Welcome to Fireteam Chat, IGN's Destiny show. Thank you for joining us. Today, Brian Malkowitz is here.
Hello.
Brian, you're new to the show. What platform do you play on?
Xbox One.
Xbox, and I bet you play with this guy a lot. Sean Finnegan.
That's right. Me and Brian are over on the Xbox platform, and we are in the same Fireteam. We roll together most of the time.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today, guys.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting news to talk about. Today, we're going to talk about the Court of Oryx reveal. We're going to talk about Destiny's free Taken King Crucible week. And Destiny, why the 2.0 update is going to be awesome. There's a ton of stuff dropping on the 8th. But first, let's get right into it with the Court of Oryx stuff. Sean, what did you think?
So Bungie had their third and final pre-Taken King live stream reveal, and they had Laced Up Lauren, and they showed us Court of Oryx, which is their new sort of public event-driven event that happens in the Dreadnought. And I actually thought it was pretty cool. It's really interesting, right? Public events kind of before in Destiny were just things that you ran across in the world, and they were pretty easy and presented not much reward. Looks like Bungie's trying to change all of that with Court of Oryx. You have the ability to activate these with your fire team by using a rune that's kind of a consumable. There's 3 different tiers, and increasingly difficult tiers yield better rewards, and they present all sorts of new mechanics and different types of enemies. It's going to be really kind of interesting, and it's going to be a fresh look on what public events are supposed to be.
Yeah, you kind of quarter up. You know, you put in the rune if you get there first, and then you trigger this event. And some of the stuff we saw was 3 witches come out, and you have to damage them all until they're almost dead, and then kill them all at the same time, for example.
Yeah, that was one of the really unique, cool mechanics that we've seen that the Guardians had to face that we haven't seen before in public events. You can plan. There's probably a lot more different ones like that.
Yeah, there was a cool one where there was 2 knights?
Yeah.
And then they both had an indestructible shield unless they were close to each other when it depleted the shields, and then you can start taking them down.
So there was also the ogre one where you had to blow up the thralls to drop his shield, and then you'd DPS him. Which was your favorite? Oh, and then there was the Cabal one where you had to kill all his minions and then damage him.
Right.
Yeah.
I really like the witch one. Just because, witches, whatever they're called, wizards.
They're wizards. I call them witches.
Yeah. I call them wizards too often.
I don't know.
Witches and wizards, Harry Potter.
Yeah, they're the same. They're the same thing, enemy type. That was my favorite just because, those are always the toughest enemy to fight. If you get caught in their, volley of sort of, arc damage or whatever, you just get wrecked.
Yeah.
And, along with their little poison.
Yeah, their poison cloud that, slows you down and, makes you feel like... Even if it doesn't do all that much damage, it feels like your world is ending when you're caught in that, right? I like fighting against those because I find them difficult, and to have to deal with 2 of them at the same time was really cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I thought it was great. I was saying with the 2 knights with the shields, that's a mechanic I don't think we've seen in the game yet.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great to see how that actually works out.
Yeah. I like the Cabal one, mostly footage reasons, because they were down to 0 seconds and they dropped him. I was like, oh, that was intense.
That was pretty cool.
I hope there's a lot more moments like that in the Court of Oryx.
It seemed pretty intense. We didn't get to see what Tier 3 Court of Oryx looks like. I just imagine it's even more intense than what we saw on the stream.
Yeah, so Tier 1 was you fight one boss, you kill him, he's at a lower level. Tier 2 was you fight 2 bosses that are a little more powerful, and then you kill them. Do we think that Tier 3 is just going to be fight 3 bosses, I guess, and they're really strong?
It'll be Atheon.
Taken Atheon.
Atheon jumps out.
Atheon and Crota.
They'll be taking Atheon.
Yeah. Taken Atheon and then follow up Crota. Where you have to steal his sword from him.
His son's still alive. Why is he so mad?
He teleports you to Venus. This time you're just like, what? How do I even... Do I go to orbit? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm interested in just what the reward tier looks like from that, because Court of Oryx does seem to be a focal point for what they're focusing on in the Dreadnought, and it's I really hope it just doesn't end up petering out like public events did in vanilla Destiny, which is everyone's super stoked at the very beginning and really interested in participating, and then once we realize the rewards aren't that good and they're not that interesting,
it's a good way to farm marks. So
they are.
Okay,
they're
cool.
good from level 1 to 20, but once you start getting 25 to 30, and you're just oh, Fallen Walker, cool.
Yeah,
and you just keep going, just go past them. It's whenever a Fallen House of Wolves Fallen guys.
No, you know what I'll do?
You just leave the.
I'll take 1 shot and be I'll let the low guys get.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll
still get the gold tier
marks
once they finish it.
Yeah. Have you ever not gold tiered a public event? Because I can't.
Yeah, I mean when you were low level.
When you're low level.
Oh, see, I can't even when I was low leveled, I don't even think I ever.
You probably didn't get a kill the target at a low level because
Oh, that's true. Because those are still kind of tough.
you need to Gallahorn them or like have a really good shotgun to take them down.
They run away.
Yeah, and they're running the whole time,
and
so you can't really get close.
You can't sprint and reload at the same time, which is dumb.
Yeah, I think those are like the worst encounters to experience, but most of the other ones are pretty fun. I really like the Fallen Walker events.
I like those because it's just like shoot them as fast as you can. It's not even gonna move.
Yeah. So, do we feel like that the Court of Oryx is something to be excited about? That's the question I have down on the paper.
Depends on the loot. They didn't show us the loot that they got from the chests.
Yeah, well,
they kind of
they showed one drop, I think, but it wasn't
from tier 1, right?
Yeah, from tier 1. It wasn't anything great that I remember. Like nobody was like, "Oh,
yeah,
great."
I wouldn't expect tier 1 to really even be that good, though, right? It's just a tease until the next tier and then the next tier, and I think tier 3 is really where we're gonna see the legendary or possible exotic drops.
Tier 1 is like 28 PoE. Like you do it so that you can just like farm it.
Yeah,
and, like
and I think
matchmaking.
tier 3 is the hard one.
Yeah,
hopefully it's as hard as Skolas.
I'm excited for it because of the new mechanics type thing. Like I really want to see Bungie's innovation in as far as like how they make mobs and NPC or like enemy NPCs work together, and how Guardians are gonna have to figure out the puzzles to beat them. Like I love the idea of shared health, or not shared health, but like you have to kill each one of these witches out of the 3 at the same time, or like they'll revive each other type thing. I think we could use a lot more of that in Destiny in boss encounters as well, and I think that this is a good step in the right direction to see that Bungie's thinking about that. So I'm excited for that part.
I really, really like the gameplay. The idea of triggering a public event or boss is great because you can just go there and like get it out of the way.
In the Court of Oryx and wait for them to spawn.
Yeah, it's like right now what I do when I'm patrolling, I'm just like, all right, I know because of DestinyPublicEvents.com, like I'm gonna go sit here and wait for this public event to happen. All right, it happened. Where's the next one? 2 minutes. Okay, maybe I'll make it. All right, it didn't trigger. I'll go wait 8 minutes in this other spot. This way, you just have you put your rune in and it happens, and you get your goodies right away.
Right. And you can collect runes. You pointed this out, but you can collect runes kind of just anywhere in the Dread, not by doing most things.
Yeah,
most things. Right?
It seems like you get it from these public events. Like there was a circle there, and they triggered it. Then all the Fault Taken came out. And they killed them all, and then they got the rune, and then they brought it to the Court of Oryx. My concern is what's going to happen when there's like 30 people at the Court of Oryx all trying to trigger this public event to get the reward.
There was some discussion about this in the office just during the stream, but is the speculation here that it's going to be instanced? Like that seems to be the way that they would
go into the Court of Oryx, and then
how when
with a fire team.
How like when you're doing a strike or something, there are some strikes where you enter a public area and you see other people, and it's like it's part of the strike, but there's something there that other Guardians can't see, and it's like it's instanced, right? Like you're still within that sort of single server instance with just your fire team. I think that's probably how it would work.
Like in any world, though, there's like 20 to 30 people in that world, like just in the public space.
Can they really call it a public event if it's instanced?
I mean, I think you could still call it that, whether or not it's actually public.
My concern is like, what if you can't trigger the thing? Because like you can't trigger 30 of them at the same time. It's like one person at a time, like from what we saw on the stream. And then there was also like a cooldown timer after they completed it, so you couldn't just like, keep getting the reward for it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to watch the video again, but I don't recall there ever being a point before they enter that area, or like after the Hall of Souls, but before they enter the Court of Oryx, whether or not you see like them enter a no respawn only
Darkness Zone.
Yeah, Darkness Zone, which is a big hint that it's an instanced area. I'd have to rewatch the video to confirm that, but like I think that's how I mean, to me that seems the smart way to do it, right? So that you don't have like 30 teams of 3 like all waiting in line to kind of like get their,
Would they be waiting in line, or would they would just be helping out?
No,
at that
you'd
point,
help so that like, all right, let's get this guy done faster. And like,
my assumption is that it's just going to be like
Guardians never help; they just troll.
Yeah.
No, people always help during public events, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's
I think
true.
if we spawn with other people, I think it's just going to be like any normal public event where they can just take part.
I know I'd help out. Like, okay, this guy just triggered it. They're in the middle of it. Let's just help him drop these.
The loot. You want the loot.
Dumb knights, and
they might just be smart about how many people they allow to spawn in the area at a specific time.
It's going to be interesting. I wonder if this is going to be like tons of people just doing this. Probably at the beginning. I think it'll peter out later. But like when it launches, like everybody's going to want to try out Court of Oryx. Everybody's going to be exploring the Dreadnought.
It's just like with the Fallen Wolves. That's,
Oh, yeah. Like everybody was doing that. Yeah. It was cool. I liked it. Anyway, let's move on. So this weekend, we are going to get to try out the new Taken King Crucible events like Mayhem and Rift. What do you guys think about Rift?
Stoked.
Yeah.
Capture the flag modes are awesome.
Yeah,
and Destiny has long needed one.
Yeah.
So we're going to be using old powers, but I think this is pretty cool. It's something that Bungie has been kind of doing with each release, where they let you try out Rift and they're letting you try out Mayhem with old abilities. But it's a really smart marketing tactic.
Yeah.
Like, it gets people, like, into the world early. And also, like, it's coming at the same time as the 2.0 drop, which we'll talk about in just a second.
Grab your churros.
Yeah, grab your Syros. Everything's changing. I hope auto rifles are better.
Yeah.
They're definitely better, right?
They're gonna be better, but just the question is, like, we
just
don't
don't
really
know.
know how much better until we get our hands on it.
So-
Yeah.
So what mode are you guys going to try out first, Rift or Mayhem?
I've had the least amount of hands-on time with Rift, so I want to get into that first, because I've played a lot of Mayhem and I kind of know what to expect. And also, Mayhem is all about supers, and we don't have the new subclasses, so
Yeah.
I'm not all that interested in getting in there immediately. Although it would be amazing just to have like Golden Gun or Fist of Havoc up all the time, which it is.
It's
in Mayhem.
every 45 seconds or something. I timed it out.
45 seconds if you're not killing anybody.
Yeah, 45
if you're
seconds if you
just
just stand
sitting.
there
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
don't do anything. So if
Yeah.
you're getting assists or kills or you're capturing points or you're doing anything else, it's going to
Put your
lessen
intellect
that
That was
time.
an E3 build. They may have adjusted the times, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But
The
also
point
depends
is-
on whether your
It's
intellect
fast, yeah.
is up at
Mayhem
100% or not.
Is aptly named. Like, it's total chaos, and which is awesome. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun. But capture the flag modes are like, I don't know. That's the new one. That's the new thing like out there that I haven't really played all that much of, and I really want to do that because Halo Capture the Flag is like some of the best experiences in all of multiplayer games that I've ever played, and I kind of want that to be the same thing in Destiny for me.
Did you get to play Mayhem or Rift at any of the events you've been
Nope.
to? No?
Haven't played any of it.
Brian's an editor. He's stuck in the
Yeah, like
room.
I'm stuck in the our war rooms. But no, I'm excited for the Mayhem. I'm into the chaos.
Yeah. So you've
So-
watched coverage.
I've watched
both
coverage
the
of it.
events.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical about going in since the new supers aren't there. But at least it'll get your feet wet and see
Yeah.
how chaotic it is.
So for Mayhem, let me ask you guys this: like, we're talking about powers and everything. What class are you going to roll?
Well, I mean Warlock, so
Warlock. So you're
Yeah.
going to do Warlock. What about you?
I main a Titan, although I really, really like my Hunter. And I remember when I first started my Hunter remarking to Brian over here, like, I think that I may end up maining this class when it comes to to the Taken King. But I don't know. Sunbreaker is so awesome, and I cannot be not throwing hammers at people. So I think I'll main my Titan, work on getting him maxed and PvP with him. Plus my stats are higher PvP wise with him. Like, I'll just do that first and then get to my Hunter later.
It's interesting that you bring up your second class, like, starting to be your favorite, because I started Warlock, and then I made a Titan, and I'm like, oh, I really like this shoulder charge,
yeah.
double grenades with armamentarium, and multiplayer is great. I kind of want to main Titan, but I think a lot of people really like Sunbreakers, that whole, like, pop, throwing hammers and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, it's
it
really,
looks like
really
it's
cool.
gonna feel very satisfying to
Powerful.
just throw that hammer.
I just, I mean, you and I have played
Yeah.
it. You feel super powerful because you have 5, maybe 6 hammers. Yeah,
They pop bubbles.
Yeah.
It's like bubble pop. You're all dead. You
Yeah,
know?
like it's a really.
Does it kill after you pop the bubble, or is it just pop the bubble?
Well, it pops the bubble, and then you throw
And
the
then you throw
next
another
one,
one
and
and
everybody
you
dies.
Yeah, it's really powerful. In fact, I feel like it's more powerful than definitively more powerful than the other class of supers, but that's just speculation. I haven't had a lot of hands-on time with it, but I think you're right. I think a lot of people are really interested in playing the Titan class, and you may just see a lot of Titans running around in Taken King.
I think you're going to. So I hope in the office, like, we have a balance, like Hunter, Warlock, Titan. But I play on a different platform, so
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it. What are you going to main over on PS4?
Well, PS4, I'm really torn between Hunter and Titan. On Xbox, I only have a Titan, so I mean that's what I'm going to main.
What's your best geared one right now
On which platform?
on PS4?
I mean, they're all
They're all
everything.
equally geared.
So yeah.
Well, the best part is you can bring up another character easily to level 25.
See,
Yeah,
that's the thing is
so-
I don't have a third character yet, so I'm
But
gonna
you will.
I'm gonna bump a Warlock.
Yeah.
Finally.
So I actually on Xbox it's Titan 34. I got a Hunter to like 18, almost 19 this last week, and then I can just bump a Warlock up to 25. I don't have to do any of the work. But at the same time, I kind of want to experience the story as like a new Guardian with all the new changes when 2.0 drops. to kind of just see what it's like. Like, how different is it going to be, like, starting a new character with this new build of the game?
That might be interesting, just because, yeah, like, all the new Nolan North voiceover could... I mean, what else is really changing besides that, though?
Well, we know the voice is changing. They haven't really talked too much about it.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I mean, it would be interesting to do, but
Yeah,
I
they
don't
want
know.
you to
It's so
re-experience the vanilla campaign. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering what else besides the voices changing, because you got to give me something.
The
other
weapon
than that.
balances.
The weapon
stuff like
balances,
that,
of course. But
I think it really depends. What I end up doing really depends on how long it takes me to get from 34 to 40. Because if it takes me longer than I anticipated, then the whole dead zone that used to exist between 20 and 28, where you're looking for gear that has light and you can't really find it because you're not high enough to do anything like where you get gear that has good light on it. I just don't want that area to be like even more of a dead zone now that you're grinding XP.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would, because now you have to imagine you're going from level 1 to level 40.
yeah,
And that's a lot.
I'm really excited about Rift. Rift with, like, answering that capture the flag need that we asked for forever. And, like, they've put a unique spin on capture the flag where, like, there's a centralized flag, everybody has to go for it, there's a timer on it, you get points for, like, making progress. They really thought about, like, what wasn't perfect about capture the flag.
Yeah.
And they tweaked it and, like, created a new gameplay mechanic.
What I love about it is that it adds viability to different build types now. Like, before, when I play, and I don't play a Warlock, but I play a Hunter and a Titan competitively in PvP, and it's like, there's no reason never to have the build that gives you maximum armor and maximum agility. Like, recovery is useless, right? Because you can run away and then recover from someone, as opposed to hoping that you recover faster. Now it's like recovery could actually mean a lot more because you're trying to get to a specific point where they may just be sitting on it, and like you're taking fire from all sorts of different places. Like, it just adds like a new level of like sort of conception about your build. Like, you have to think about what's best for your build in that game mode, which is cool.
We're going to be streaming the new maps on the 8th, correct?
9th, I believe, because something is locked in for the 8th. But yeah, like, when Crucible 2.0, when that patch happens, there will be a live stream on IGN. We'll be doing a lot of PvP and testing out all the new weapons and getting a feel for that and kind of weighing in on all that stuff.
Cool.
So don't miss that.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to the 2.0 update. There is a ton of stuff about to happen with 2.0. So let's kind of go through it and discuss. Dinklage is going away, being replaced by Nolan North. Does that excite you guys at all?
it does. I mean, I've heard the voice. Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, we heard it briefly, right, in that teaser trailer.
Yeah, in the trailer. I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
What about you, Sean? You Dinklage or Nolan? You just don't care?
I mean,
they're equal, like.
Yeah, I mean,
in your opinion.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call them equal. I mean, from what I've heard, I think Nolan North's done a better job as the Ghost. I also think that the Ghost has been so inconsequential that he could be voiced by someone I had no idea who he is, and it would be equally important. Like, I'm just not all that. I don't think it's not a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next. Well, I mean, for me, I'm really excited to see Nolan North's delivery and how it, like I said before, like, I want to see how it changes my experience going through the story. Like, maybe the narrative changes, maybe it's delivered better by Nolan North, maybe like the story makes some sense.
I hope they add the
I doubt
wizard
that,
came
right?
from the moon line
in
Nolan North's voice.
They add it back.
I hope they
That'd
do.
be great.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
cool.
Like, maybe there's fan service stuff like that in there.
Maybe.
I can't wait to experience that from the start.
Yeah, I mean, like, me too. Nolan North's a great voice actor, and he's got a lot of range and a lot of versatility. I just don't think, like, there aren't enough Ghost lines, at least to my memory, in the campaign that, like,
He kind of talks to you, but it's all forgettable. Like, you just kind of
super
ignore
forgettable.
it. Yeah.
Like, most of at least unless anything changes, which we don't know it has yet, but if nothing changes, most of that dialogue happens when you're loading into story missions or right there at the end, and there's not a lot of dialogue that happens otherwise. Like, it doesn't do what other games do, like The Last of Us, where there's, like, you're walking around and you're doing something, it's gameplay, but then there's just random dialogue happening between your characters. Like, that doesn't happen
Like,
between you
they're
and your
bantering?
Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen between your Ghosts. And if it does, then that would be a great time for Nolan North to shine. I just don't think it's going to.
Yeah. Next thing on the list is legendary marks now instead of the old mark system. That's gonna actually they updated and they said that's gonna go into effect 9/15.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to happen this on the 8th, right? But
Yeah.
they pushed it back.
So what's gonna happen with that is if you have like 200 Vanguard marks and 200 Crucible marks, those are gonna be converted into commendations, and then you can burn those for reputation in the Vanguard and whatever like New Monarchy or faction, whatever faction you decide to go with.
I thought they were just converting them into legendary marks. So they're not doing that at all?
They're not doing that at all. As far as I know, it's just commendations. I mean, that's what they've said. So everybody who plays Destiny, make sure you pick a faction before you start burning these things, because you can not only get a Vanguard package, but you can also get a faction package. What faction are you guys going to pick?
So I think I'm going to repick Dead Orbit.
Yeah.
I'm New Monarchy right now, but like I don't like the stats on New Monarchy. Like it's strength. Like there's a lot of it's intellect strength, and it's like no one cares about strength. It's stupid. It's terrible. So
there's some Titans like the strength stacks. They'll pop a bubble and people come in, they one punch them. You know.
Okay, but I mean, if you
for
pop
the most part, no.
If you pop a bubble, if you're playing Defender in PvP, there's no reason you shouldn't be using Armor of Light anyway, or Blessing of Light maybe. But like, I don't think you need the extra strength. Like you're unkillable in that bubble.
Yeah.
Is the idea.
Oh, you know who uses strength? Hunters for throwing knives.
Well, so that was what I was thinking. Is like strength. The question that popped up into my head like 10 seconds ago when we were talking about this was, does strength affect your damage with Flaming Hammer? Because is that a melee attack?
That's interesting.
That's what I was wondering. I was thinking about that because if it does, then it would be way more viable. But currently, Titans have the shortest melee.
Yeah.
Disintegrate. I mean, no one runs Defender, so I don't even know what that melee is called. But Disintegrate, which is the striker one. No one uses that. Like, you rely on shoulder charge for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just what you do. And so there's no reason to have strength because like it doesn't even increase the strength or the damage of the melee, which already doesn't one shot. But it just reduces the cooldown of it, and it's like that's useless because it's the worst melee anyway. So if strength did something besides reducing the cooldown, like if it increased the damage or if it had something to do with your special ability, like, Sunbreaker, throwing the hammers, then it would be much more viable. But yeah, I think because of that, I want to spec to Dead Orbit because it's in like discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you, Brian?
Dead Orbit.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, I picked that from the beginning. I'm only rank 3 with it still, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I already have it.
Well, rank 3 is fine. I mean, you can buy all your goodies.
Yeah, I can have all the good stuff. So
no one's going Future War Call with the
mark
scrolling
cool.
I might try it out. I mean...
I maxed my Future War Cult because there was a time a couple months ago when I didn't have a great rocket launcher. Like I was still waiting for, Radagast's Fury or like an Ash Factory to drop.
Yeah.
And I had heard that the next best one was the Fear, which is the tier 3 rocket launcher you get from them, and so I have that ready. It's a pretty decent rocket launcher.
I have a ridiculous secret handshake that I'm gonna miss. It has like 6 rounds and it fires like blam, 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 like seriously that fast.
Yeah.
So like anybody comes up to you, it's like pop, pop, dead, like instant dead. Like witches in Prison of Elders or anything gets up on you, especially with an arc shield because it has the arc damage modifier. So yeah, I'm gonna miss that gun a lot.
There's a lot of guns I'm gonna miss. We should do In
Memoriam.
We should. I was gonna say we should do a segment on the show that's like our favorite guns that we're gonna miss.
Yeah. We'll do that next episode. Which I never said which faction I'm going to roll. I think I am going to roll Dead Orbit also. They look the coolest. Like
they also do look.
They have the best looking guns and best looking gear, I think.
Future War Cult is like the Rainbow Clan.
Yeah, I don't like the color scheme. I could be okay if it was just blue and white, but the yellow in it looks terrible.
Yeah, like it doesn't work together usually.
When you put on the Hunter cloak and you're just like,
oh my god! Remember when I first started my Hunter? The only cloak I had was the Future War Cult one. You look like a NASCAR race car driver. Like it's such a big.
You look like a sponsored Guardian.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
Brought to you by Tide.
Yeah, like it looks really bad.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but that's a really good comparison to NASCAR stuff.
Future War Cult.
There was like a whole raid when you guys dragged me through Vaults of Glass, like originally, where I just whined about that because every time I see it, I'm like, God, it's so ugly.
No, get out of here.
And then New Monarchy is okay, but like the red isn't like a bright red; it's like a muted red.
Yeah, it's kind of like a. I don't know if it reminds me of like the type. It reminds me of like what's the candy place? The chocolate. the famous chocolate place here in San Francisco, Ghirardelli's.
Oh,
it reminds me of like that type of red. The wrappers, like it's an ugly sort of chocolate red. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
doesn't look very good.
Some of the Prison of Elders like stuff that you get like capes and stuff, they're a really nice bold red, and I
just hate that you
like
can't change the colors on those though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are we at that point yet where how many times have I said it, but like can't shaders affect just all gear, like exotics included?
That's happening.
It's going to. That's going to happen.
Good, because I have the great shader that like my Titan looks amazing, except I wear armamentarium, and right in the middle of my all white armor, there's this big like fat brown grenade armor type thing.
Yeah, it's like when I'm wearing Starfire Protocol and it just ruins the entire scheme.
Wow, we've been talking about this way longer than I realized.
Next.
No more Elder Ciphers. Now they're going to drop from the chest as of 9/8.
What chest?
So, just the chest
The
that you get there. But they're also taking away the Fallen Wolves are no longer going to be in the solar system. So I think you can still hunt down like the targets, but it's going to make the Fallen Wolf pack thing like obsolete.
So they're gonna have to retool some of the Queen's quests?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna like kind of mess with that a little bit.
Let's see what she has.
Exotic bounties are gonna autocomplete. So if you have any of those Elder Cipher bounties, they're done. Like
that's on the 8th or is that on the 15th?
It says on the 8th.
Wow.
Does that mean like if you're on an exotic bounty that has multiple like parts?
If you just got Thorn bounty, it's done. You're done. You don't have to worry about
not
it.
even just just the step you're
on. If you
on.
just got the Invective or the one where you got to dismantle those fusion rifles, those are done.
Man.
Yeah, I have 2 Elder Ciphers right now that I have no intention of going to complete.
Yeah.
Because the Prison of Elders doesn't have anything else on right now, so I'm just going to wait and go to Varix.
That makes me really want to do Skolas this weekend, just because like maybe I'll get the other 2 Elder Ciphers on PlayStation, then I have all the weapons. I never have to do Prison of Elders again.
I want to wait till
I have
40
2
to
of
take them on again.
I have 2 of the 3. I have Queensbreaker's Bow and I have Lord of Wolves. I don't need
Drake's Promise.
Drake's Promise. That's I mean, I don't need that
pistol.
one. I mean, I wanted to collect it, but
just to have it. That's what I'm probably never going to use it.
But I do want Necrochasm. Does that autocomplete, or do you need the Crux? How does that?
You
one
need
work?
the Crux.
You need
that
the Crux of Crota because there's no bounty for it.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, it's not a bounty.
There's no bounty.
Yeah.
No.
It's because they're changing the quest system. So like they're like, okay, we got to like get rid of your old bounties. You know, so like any Vanguard or Crucible bounties that you haven't finished, they're getting deleted basically.
Yeah. So a lot of people were hanging on to their high level XP bounties that they've completed.
Yeah. Turn them in.
But turn them in because you're going to lose them because you're not going to be able to turn them in on the 19th to get XP.
Well, I think on the 8th.
No, but I mean, when the level cap increases, people are saving it for that.
Got it. Well, don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
At least that's what it sounds like. I would double check on the Bungie Weekly Update, but that's what I think.
It said auto-abandoned on 9.8.
Auto-abandoned, that's bad. Collections added to the tower and exotic armor and weapons collections are also being added, so you can check that out and see what you've gained already and like what you're going to be able to get when you hit level 40. And finally, motes of lights can be used to grant XP. So it sounds like you can like. What do you think that means, Brian?
Yeah, it sounds like you can just turn them in for XP somewhere. I mean, does that mean like they're losing their form as currency and just turning them into something for XP? Like, is Zerg?
I don't think so. Like we've already seen on the streams that they're still a viable currency.
Oh, okay.
So if you read the weekly update closely, it actually says motes of light can be used to grant XP for weapons and armor.
Oh, okay.
So you're leveling up. At least I take that to mean you're leveling up your weapons and armor the same way you use bounties, completing bounties to level up your weapons.
If you turn in a
mote
of light for XP, you're not leveling your character or your subclasses. That's what it sounds like from the update, because it doesn't mention anything other than character. It doesn't mention.
I'm not making that up, right? Like we read that together.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I read.
It says armor
and weapons. So you use your mote of light somehow, and it gives you XP, and it levels up your weapons and armor. So like, if you have a bunch of motes of light and you don't need them, I mean, use them to level up your gear.
I've got hella, man.
I've got a lot.
Yeah,
it also depends on
how many do you have. I had a ton, but I burned them all to get all the helms and stuff.
Yeah, I think I almost have like almost 200 maybe.
Okay. Well, I have 300 shards that I'm never going to use, and like 300 Ascendant energy. That like seeing all of your year 1 weapons are like just forget about them basically, because you're going to upgrade to year 2 stuff. I think. Like
I still have a lot of those
later,
Ascendant.
like not immediately, not like you want to save them for day 1, because if you dismantle them, you're going to get better stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably going to get rid of a lot of stuff like day 1.
I foresee myself doing the same. what I want to do is figure out the best way to get rid of things. You know, like if
other than just dismantling.
Yeah, because like I know you can churn in sort of ascendant materials and energy and all that stuff for Glimmer, like using the trade at the speaker or whatever.
Yeah. But I don't need Glimmer. My Glimmer's been capped for like ever. I have a bunch of stuff to turn in for Glimmer.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is like if not Glimmer, can I trade him for motes or something else that's going to be useful in the future?
Your shards?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can trade your shards for motes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can trade. Yeah, it's ascendant shards from the Vault of Glass that you can change.
So you can take your energy and make them into shards, and then trade in all your shards for motes. So yeah, you can just stock up on.
And
motes
I have like 200-300 energy.
Yeah,
I can turn into shards.
So many of those.
And I'm never gonna upgrade anything from year one anymore.
That costs Glimmer though to do. So then,
okay. I mean, Glimmer isn't really a big problem right now.
No, right?
But I think it might be in a Taken King. I mean,
maybe.
I don't know. When I was first leveling up my Hunter, and like I got to the point where I needed to level up a bunch of gear really quickly, then I found it to be a problem where I did not have enough Glimmer. Like there was that one night where you and me were like, "We are broke. Let's go farm."
Yeah. Guys, we've come to the end of the show.
Cool.
Thanks for joining me talking a little bit about Taken King. Overall, how excited are you?
Very.
I'm crazy excited.
Like I actually can't remember the last time I've been this excited about like a video game. Most of the time I'm just like, they come, they go, and even the ones that I really like.
It's an expansion.
Yeah, exactly. I'm stoked. It's gonna be fun.
I'm excited. I think it has a chance to like reinvigorate the community, bring in a bunch of players that were lost, like that hit that level 20, and they're like, I don't understand Light. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Decided Necrochasm is going to have justice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big change. There's a lot to expect. Like, it's a good indication of what we can expect. Like, Bungie has said and Activision has said that this is a 10-year franchise. Like, who knows if it'll actually be that? But if the change from year 1 to year 2 is any indication, then year 3 is going to be awesome, and year 4, like there's just a lot of cool stuff to think where this game might go.
Guys, do you like Fireteam Chat? Leave us a review on iTunes. Thank you so much for listening today. And if you really like the show, you can go to go.ign.com/store and buy a t-shirt. Support the show. Brian, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Sean, thanks for joining us again.
My pleasure.
And until next time, Guardians out.
Guardians out.
Brian.
I didn't know.